All right, hey, what's going on, family? Look here, this is Ryan Jamie Johnson. Look here, we are on Marriage Chronicles. It's Thursday. You know what time it is. We want you to go ahead and just start going to share, comment, tell people. Look here, We're here with some great friends of ours. Pastor, of course, Fred and Marcy Wilson. We know them as Fred and Marcy. Look here, great and wonderful individuals. They have been traveling with us. I would say for the last few years, we've been in the UK together. Now we're back in the States with them. And I'm telling you, we are looking to have so much fun on tonight. And before we go in, first of all, you guys go ahead and say hi to the people.
Hey, what's
Hey
up,
guys,
everybody?
we're so honored to be here with our great friends. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. It's our honor to be here.
Oh, it's great. So look here, before we even start, we got couples on, of course, and we want to ask you guys a few questions, about 2 or 3 questions. How well do you know one another? You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
First of all,
You about to mess up a happy home, man.
We may know too much.
tell the people how many years have you been married?
We've been married in September, it will be 22 years.
22 years.
Wow. 22.
Yeah, we've been together now longer than we've been apart. Like,
Yeah.
so we're at that stage now.
Wow, 22 years. All right. Well, let's see what 22 years has been doing.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on with it. We ready.
We're gonna start off with simple first.
Okay.
What's each of you your favorite color?
So Pastor Fred, what's your wife's favourite colour?
You would start with me. I thought it was ladies first. Marcy's favorite color would have to be, I'll go with red.
Okay.
Is he correct?
That would be an accurate assessment.
All right.
Glasses, all right?
All right. Marcy, what is Fred's favorite color?
I would go with blue because it was his dad's favorite color.
Look at the shirt. Blue.
Love it, guys.
All right. No, that's good. That's good. You're doing well.
All right.
So, what was the date of your first date?
Ooh.
That's hard.
Come on, Ryan, really? Oh, goodness. The date of our first date.
Uh-oh.
It was in 1998, right?
Wow. I met you in 95,
90.
though.
You met me in 95?
Yeah,
We
see,
got
boy,
married in 98.
I'm deeper than you. You don't
Yeah.
remember nothing.
You got married in 98. Okay.
Our first date would have been in 95.
1995.
Yeah, just be
Okay.
quiet.
All right.
We lost that one. We lost that one.
You take that one.
All right. You go ahead. You go ahead next.
Okay. If you could have a dream destination, what is your spouse's dream destination?
I know Marcy's. Marcy's dream destination, because she tells me every day until I take her there, is Santorini in Greece.
Santoria, Greece. Yes.
Santoria, Greece.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
One of them. Yeah.
Okay.
What is your dream destination? He's traveled way more than me, so he loves South Africa. But he's already been there. Your dream destination, that's a good question.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Wow.
You don't know? See, so
God, I feel bad. I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna say something. Let's go with France.
that's good. I was about to say Paris, France.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
You got it.
That's it. You got it.
That's good. That's good. Hey, it's really great to have you on tonight. Really and truly, we had to have you guys, and 22 years is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, phenomenal.
People are not even doing 6 months nowadays, let alone to a year,
Challenging.
and because it's absolutely challenging. I think one of the, we're going to be speaking, of course, on the topic, raise your words and not your voice, and we're going to go in a little bit with that. But one of the questions I wanted to really ask you all, because a lot of people have been experiencing challenging moments in this area during COVID. We know there's been a lot of domestic violence going on during COVID. There's been a lot of tension in the atmosphere when it comes to marriage. How have you all coped to stand one another, because we've been in the same position, and not kill one another. You know what I mean? Because we've spent, I would say a lot of couples have, we spent 7 days on a cruise, honeymoon, and we did all that, but 2.5 straight months together with one another. That's a whole different kettle of fish. So how did you guys manage to do it?
I want to jump in there, man. Something practically, and I'll let Marcy speak to the deep stuff of how we've made it through, but something practically, which is a reason, honestly, to you guys and to your followers that are listening, I'm actually grateful for this season. Not for those who have died or anything like that, but man, I have not been able to spend this much time at home and focus on our physical home in a long time. It's just always going. When I would come home, I'd be so tired, man. I go to sleep. It's like sleep. This was just a hotel for me. I was just sleeping.
Yeah.
And so the reason I brought that up is because, Jamie, we have been able to, number one, save money. We have not been eating out a lot. We've saved a lot of money during this 2 months. And we use that money to invest into our home. So the room that we're in now literally used to be our son. He's 21 now. We moved him to the basement, and we turned this into Marcy. Marcy did not have a work area in home. So we have made this office. I painted it myself.
Yeah.
Come on, sir.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we painted it. So I think that, and then downstairs, I already kind of had a man cave kind of area, but I invested into, some lights since we're streaming and stuff. So I think that maybe has helped to our not killing each other, because we created spaces for us to be able to feel comfortable right here in our own home. We're still together, but when I need to go and create and be alone, I can go to the basement. When she needs to shut this door and be to herself, I know she's creating content. So creating your own space in your space.
Absolutely. And then, this is an opportunity for us to spend time together, because as you said, you with the ripping and the running of life and just all of that, taking care of everything. And then you come home at night and you're too tired to even be with each other. So, we just, the Netflix and chill just went to another level. It's like, wow, we can really sit down and watch, binge watch a series, and, and just like have no worries, because we can do this without having, any repercussions. And so that helped as well, like, creating those date nights in the house.
That's good.
And just being with one another. Like you said, when times are tense, so you just want to go by yourself, just go to your space. Let's just separate for a little while, and then come back at night and just make sure that we're sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
I think that's good. What would you say to individuals who don't have the opportunity to build a room for their wife, or
I built one. I just rented.
Kick somebody out.
I think I'm trying to big ball over here. I didn't build no room. I just put my son out and kicked him downstairs. No, I get what you're saying. Man, go ahead, baby.
Allow each other to have that space, however you need it, let them have it. So if that person needs to be in the TV room and watch some television and they need to be by themselves, allow them that time, maybe going outside in the backyard and things of that nature. So just making space for that person to be alone. We don't have to always be up under each other. And if that person needs space, give them that. Don't take it personal. It's not personal.
It's not personal.
We all need to kind of just steal away, and then for us too, Fred is a morning person. I'm a night person. So he's up way before I get up in the morning, and he get things done that he wants to get done. And then he's in the bed by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And I'm up and I'm in my prime, like, yes, go to sleep, everybody. And then that's my time alone. So you have to find those places and pockets where you can.
Yeah, what's your rhythm? What's your rhythm? Where do you operate?
That's good. What's your rhythm? That is good. I like that. Getting that level of rhythm, and I think it's so important, and that's what we've learned, especially as soon as we got over here, COVID kicked off the next week. So I was used to, when I was in the UK, my wife was doing some 12-hour shifts, at the hospital, when she, as a nurse. And so I was used to having my own space, at night. Now we just thrown in where we see each other every day. Day in, day out. And you're absolutely right in regards to, we've learned the aspect of just being able to be in a place where I've given my wife her space. Sometimes she wants to be in the bedroom. Sometimes I'll be in the garage creating, because the garage is now my man cave.
Love it. And that can happen in Florida. The garage, you get one season outside in Chicago.
Yeah. If the garage where my man cave here, I would only be in there like 2 months out of the year.
Yeah. No, I totally hear that. But raising words and not your voice. How have you found that experience from the point of view? Because I can only come from our experience. We've been married, of course, for almost 17 years now, and
congratulations,
you know what I mean. No, thank you so much. When we first got married, I think it was more about raising our voice
and little words.
And it was little words. You know, in regards to that, how was your transition in regards to your point of raising your voice, or giving words that are meaningful to your wife or your husband, what I mean, that can mean something, as opposed to just yelling.
Yeah. Can I jump in there?
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So, and this is probably where you could talk about journey of love and all of that, how we communicated. But some very practical things, guys, that we have done, again, 22 years, we've had a lot of practice. So when we share these things with you and with your audience, we are in no way trying to fake it like we're perfect or got it together. We was just mad at each other 7 minutes ago before we got on this Zoom. So
That's real.
Yeah, I think I raised my voice a little bit too loud, so we don't have this perfected at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, one thing that we have done, and we teach this in our couples coaching and premarital counseling as well. Man, sometimes you got to have like safe words. You got to have keywords.
Yeah.
So Marcy, really quick testimony, man. I just come, my parents are married 30-something years, but, love her. She's going to be with the glory. But my mom was kind of loud sometimes. She was a little loud. And I grew up, Ryan, with this. I didn't care if it was Marcy or Jane, whoever I was going to marry. I kind of had this chip on my shoulder. You ain't going to get loud with me. I just came into the marriage with that, right or wrong.
Yeah.
I just came into it with that chip on my shoulder. And so our first years, man, she could be simply saying, hey, where's the ketchup? But if it was too loud, I was going off. I really was, man. And so something simple, and I think you came up with this. And she said, whenever I'm too loud or whatever tone, just say the word tone.
Oh, wow.
And so now if there's something or she's saying something and I think she's getting loud or smart or whatever, I'll just say tone, and immediately, man, she says it in a different way.
Okay.
It totally changes,
That's
yeah.
And I had to realize that was a trigger for him, because at first I was taking it personal, like, what? I just said, X, Y, and Z. But after we had that conversation and I realized that, the elevation in my voice or the way that I said something was a trigger. It was a trigger. And so when he told me where that came from, I was like, okay, well, then you need to let me know. Because me as a woman, my inflection can go a lot of different ways, So, it just let me know that that's a place of trigger for you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I meant what I said, but I'm sure that I can say it in another way where you can receive what I am saying. So that's what we want. We want our spouse to receive what we're saying. Yes. And so if how I'm saying it is blocking that, then I'm woman enough to say, okay, well, let me rephrase that. Let me bring it down a notch. Let me not roll my neck too much,
Hey,
and just
I
really
hear that.
articulate what I'm trying to get, my point that I'm trying to get across.
And it's the same way with me, man. I mean, I know we're talking about marriage, but it's the same way. I just was taught a lesson just 2 nights ago, guys, in parenting with my daughter. It's like you can say one and you could. I was just speaking a little too. I was talking to my daughter like she was my son. Yeah, basically. And for my son, you guys are raising a beautiful, handsome son. By the way, the boy is killing, man. The boy is playing everything. Oh my God.
Yes.
Young prophet is doing it over there. Oh my God. Yes. But I can raise my voice at my son. I'm sure you guys do. And I yell at Fred. But I can't do that with Kaya. But I have been doing that the last week or so. And so again, back to what Marcy was saying with tone, it's just how it's not what we say, it's how we say. So I love this topic that you guys have tonight. Raise your words and not your voice, because we got to use that. I don't want my daughter to even love from me. I want to, but she might feel like I'm tearing her down.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have that authority in your voice or that bass in your voice, it can be it can be intimidating, and then your natural good reaction is to snap back, and so we have to make sure that what we're saying is that it can be said in a way that it can be received by the other person, and if it's not, and if the person is saying something that's too loud or too got too much bass in it, be honest enough to say that, like, hey, you know what, you're speaking a little harsh right now, and I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
So, can we take a break and come back to this, or table it? Or another thing that we found out too is if an issue is just really big and intense, we write it down. Okay,
That's good.
I really wanted to go there too. So please talk about it.
Yeah, we'll write it down. We write letters. We send text messages. We send, like, hey, I just wanted to say this to you. I didn't want to say it out loud because it may have come across the wrong way.
That's
And you add a couple of heart emojis in there. They'll know y'all.
Emojis, they help you.
The emoji will bless you. We were blessed, guys. God has given us some amazing. I want to say it was the same year we first came to you, Ryan. 2013, 2014. God blessed us. It was all Marcy, just on a whim, went online, and we were blessed to go on the Steve Harvey show.
Wow.
He was filming here in Chicago, and we still got footage from him, man. And it was marriage.
Well,
what's weird about your marriage or something like that?
Marriage,
And we were on there saying that we were weird because we communicate via text and email in the same house.
Yeah.
And we still do that.
Yeah.
Just like y'all laugh. Steve laughed at us, but it's true.
Yeah.
And not only do we communicate, hey, baby, what's for dinner in the same house, but sometimes it's an argument or an understanding.
Yeah.
If we were in each other's face, we would be yelling. But I can go down in the man cave. She could be up here, and I'm like, hey, I didn't understand what you meant by that.
Them thumbs just a move. You got it, Jamie. Them thumbs.
So it works most of the time.
Yeah, it does.
Most of the
It
time.
does, because it helps you get the message out, and allow the person to read it, process it, formulate a rebuttal, and then just come back and have a conversation. So that has helped for us.
Because usually when you're talking, you cut the person off anyway.
Yeah.
When you're face to face,
Yeah.
so they're forced to read that whole text.
They're curious. They're curious.
The essay
That's right.
that some people write.
No, the funniest thing, my thing is that sometimes because my voice is, my voice being deep. So sometimes when I'm talking to my wife is like, you need to calm down. But I said I am calm. You know what I mean? It's always trying to find the journey that can really allow her to feel safe, because I think and I think that's what it is, letting my wife feel safe when we're going through, because they have an old saying in the Caribbean, teeth and tongue will always meet. In other words, there will always be, some type of disagreement or passionate arguments. Hence why teeth and tongue will meet. And the thing I've realized getting into marriage, especially the first year, it was probably the most challenging. I don't know what it was like for you all, but it was the most challenging time of our life, our first year of marriage, just being there, trying to figure my wife out, trying to figure out a woman out, trying to figure every aspect, what makes her happy. We found ourselves arguing over what type of butter that we should buy. Her mother bought one type of butter. My mother bought one type of butter. I just gave up the fight.
Because you were cooking, so you had to give up the fight.
Exactly. You lost that one. You lost.
I just said, let me just. What was it like? All right, let's go all the way back to your first year of marriage, because I know you're refined at 22 years, but in the first year of marriage, what was it like? Because there's some people that are listening right now that are not at 25 or 30 years of marriage. They're at probably 2 months of marriage, and they're finding it difficult, especially during COVID. What was it like in your first year of marriage?
Wow, the year number one was tumultuous for various reasons. One, I had just lost my father.
Wow.
So we got married, and Dad passed away 4 months later.
Yeah.
So I was dealing with a terminally ill parent, and then he passed away. We got called to pastor a church
In our first year.
of marriage.
Wow.
And I had a baby. Wow. All in year one. So
That was intense.
year one was a blur. To be
Wow.
I don't know if I got postpartum depression, if I'm grieving, or if I'm just mad at the world, or if I could actually be this wife, you know, wife, mother, first lady. All of that was just all rolled up into one. And so I think we made it through that year with a lot of prayer. So honestly,
Yeah.
it was a lot. It was a lot of prayer, a lot of crying, you know, but what we did before that is that we took divorce off the table. So
Good.
we didn't go in with an exit plan. So if you went in your marriage with an exit plan, then the exit plan will always be there.
Wow.
But we didn't go in with an exit plan. So it's like, well, I'm stuck with him. He's stuck with me. So I'm out. There's no exit, you know. And so I think that kind of helped us, you know, having faith definitely helped, because we knew that brighter days are going to be ahead, that this was just something we had to overcome. We had to learn how to be married to one another. And so with a lot of prayer and our faith, and then just investing in each other, paid off.
I definitely agree with that, man. Couldn't add any more to that. The Lord kept it. And I think Dad's, Marcy's father, who was my pastor at the time, I think tragedy has a way of bringing you together.
Yes.
So any marriage out there, you know, the rough times, you need those rough times. That's what's going to tighten your glue. You know, good times don't make a marriage. Who that'll preach? Good times don't make a marriage. It's the rough times that you can go back and say, man, me and Jamie have been through this, me and Ryan. And that's, so our first year, while it was rough, it was good for us. What's that? Seriously, ain't that the word, Pastor? It was good that I was. And so, because we were forced, with Dad dying, we were forced to be there for each other. We were forced to hold Marcy up. So if I was agitated or tripping or whatever, it was like, hey, man, you know, she just lost her daddy. You can't be tripping. So sometimes that tragedy forces a couple to be there for one, if you really love each other, which we believe that all of your followers tonight do really love each other. We will say this, if there are any, we write it about it in both of our books. We're very transparent. And so we would say, if there are any couples who are pre-marriage, who are thinking about being married, man, don't do it too young. We were way, I mean, I praise God for 22 years. I praise God for our children. I praise God for everywhere we are. But if we had to live it over, I think we both would say 23 and 25 was way too young to kind of start out a life together. You got to, I didn't even know who I was yet.
Yes.
At
23.
Yes.
Oh, man. You preaching.
I didn't know who I was, man. And so
You
now I'm
preaching
trying to I got to cover a whole nother person, this woman, and I got to learn who she is. But Fred, it took me 10 years to find out who Fred was. So, again, Jamie's cracking up. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
hey, that's some truth. That's some truth.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it 100, man. And so, you know, again, to those who are out there who are thinking about it, there's no rush. If it's love is going to be there. So we would definitely advise you kind of take your time.
Get to know each other, travel the world. It's a big world out there. You know, I agree with that. Our life just started way too early. It was too many responsibilities. You know, pastor, first lady, parents, wife, husband. That was a lot. That was a lot. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. But but like you said, for those who are thinking about it, take your time. Invest.
That's so awesome what you guys have just shared, because I could say that we kind of felt like that too, that we were kind of forced to grow up quite quickly. And it's almost like, especially when you're in ministry, it almost feels like your marriage is under the spotlight. I mean, I remember a time that, for example, we were having church, and just before church, myself and Ryan got into a bit of a disagreement, and it was challenging. It was really, really challenging.
I barely could preach.
Yeah, because we had a few Sundays like that.
We've been there, brother.
I'm trying not to make it spill in the sermon. So she's looking at me and say, "What you gonna say now?"
Right. Or sitting on the front row like this.
Listen, I was like,
And I'm like, Lord, how am I gonna preach people into heaven when I can't even get this? When I can't even get my own personal heaven right?
Yeah, we can't even get this woman to say amen.
I just say like,
I'm sitting down here. So let me ask you a question. Do you think tragedy is the bonding glue to bring marriages closer together?
Yeah,
I do actually.
It is.
I actually do.
It is.
I think it's those rough places that, by the way, I think it's that way for everybody. Each of them as a leader. Yeah. The pastor is not made on the good days when everybody's loving him.
Come on, sir.
He's made in the valley when the mortgage is due and the people ain't coming and it's rough. And so I think rough times make us who we are. They prove our character. Here in the States, you guys were here. They just showed The Last Dance with Jordan. Yeah. Michael Jordan and the Bulls, the whole thing. And if we watch that, those who watch that, the Bulls were not made. There was a scene, Marcy and Ryan, Jamie. It was like episode 7. And Jordan was talking about the second three-peat where all these new guys came in and Judd Bushler and Steve Kerr, and they were riding high because the Bulls were already on top. But Mike was like, y'all got to get y'all butts kicked because it was when we were losing that made us the team that we are now.
Come on.
So I just gave that illustration to say I definitely think that tragedy, as you said, my brother, is the bonding glue that sticks us together because me and Marcy, we've been through grief. We've been through financially bad times.
Oh, my God.
Like, if this girl, anybody can stay with me if I'm rolling in the dough. Come on, somebody. Right. But if she going to stay with me when we almost lost the house and she going to stay with me when the car was repossessed, we've been through all of that. We've been through all of that. Yeah. We've been through all of the embarrassment of it and all of that, man. And if she's still here, she's obviously not with me for my paper. Come on, somebody.
She ain't no gold digger.
It's coming. The paper's on its way, baby. Stay with me. I'm taking you somewhere.
It's coming.
Yes. And then it was, those tragedies and those bad times. They pull you together. They help you to grow stronger together. Those roots kind of go in a little deeper. And I believe that God uses those moments, to see exactly what. To show us what we're capable of and what we're made of. And so tragedy definitely helps. We didn't even realize that right now is probably the better times of our lives now. Before we for the last 5 years, we buried my mom.
Wow.
His mom first. 2015. 6 months later, I buried my mom.
Oh no.
6 months later, we buried his dad.
Oh.
6 months later, we transitioned out of ministry, not because we wanted to, but because things was pushing us, towards like, hey, it's time for us to leave. So in essence, we lost everything.
Yeah, 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
Not knowing that when we walked away from ministry and we got all these things, I lost all our parents, that COVID was going to hit, and it's like, God, you knew exactly.
Wow. That's good.
You knew exactly because we were crying and lamenting and, oh my God, this can't be, you called us and now, we're going through all this. These are your service. Our fathers and our mothers, they served you for all their lives. How dare you, But right now, I wouldn't want to have to see my parents deal with this and wear masks and have to go to the doctor, in the midst of this, can't go see my mom, all of that. So God was what we thought he was taking from us. He was actually preparing us for something better. Hallelujah. So that's what you get in those tragedies. He gonna bring you out.
Yeah.
If you trust him, he's gonna bring you out, and he's gonna bring you out better. And so I just want to throw that testimony in there that
beautiful.
On the other side, God, he's still blessed, and right now is probably the best that we have been. In some years
because of the struggles. I'll say this, man. You got 2 preachers. You got 4 preachers on the line, so we gonna go for it tonight. Let me share this word too that I heard, and this will bless somebody as well, Jamie. I think rough times, there are bonding glue, but also challenges show you what you're made of.
Ooh, amen. All right, sir.
They pull something out of you that you didn't know you had in you. Yeah. Come on, somebody, right? Yeah. You didn't know as that leader that you could orchestrate that or put that vision together until you were forced in that corner.
Yes, sir.
And in marriage, I'll just use our marriage as an example. Marcy, last couple of weeks has been down. Her knee is propped up right now. She had knee surgery. Don't know if you guys know that.
Oh, no.
Marcy just came through knee surgery.
Oh, wow.
Her knee is propped up right now. She's been down for 2 weeks and got about another 2 or 3 weeks to go. Oh. Y'all pray for you. Don't be saying wow for her. Pray for me. Hello, somebody. Pray for me.
You cooking.
But you know what God does in those times? He shows you, Fred, you actually can cook. Yeah. You can cook. You can.
Come
you
on,
actually can. Yeah. You can hold this house together. Yeah. You know, because at first it was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And how do I sort this laundry? And how do I, you know? But now, guess what? I actually know the aisles in the grocery store now.
He FaceTimed me today when he went to the store. I was pleasantly surprised.
See there? I knew my way around. They know my name and everything. Hey, Mr. Wilson.
Love it.
So I think rough times bring out of you. That's all I was saying. I was using a joke, but it's really true. Rough times bring out of you, you know, different aspects of what you're able to do. Go ahead, my brother.
I think that's good. You know what I was going to ask, and because I love that whole dynamics is that, you know, as a man being in the home, sometimes I look at my wife and I think she has the antidote to everything. You know,
yes,
my son goes to her, mommy, this, you know what I mean? Even when he comes to me and says, Dad, something's wrong, I said, go ask your mom sometime.
Yes, sir.
You know, because there's something about my wife that she carries, and I'm sure you can testify that they carry that nurturing aspect that really can help to identify. But the thing I do know is that when we're pushed to the test as men, as husbands, we can really make it happen, and we can make some things take place. Now, I'm hearing what you're saying, and now while Marcy's she's gone through a surgery, and you have to take over things. That means that you're now switching over to a side where you're using a lot more of your words. You're becoming the nurturer in the aspect of the situation. And how do you, from a husband's point of view, knowing that you feel this weight now because of the condition of your wife right now, how do you go day to day, you know what I mean, speaking to your wife, doing things for your wife? You know, how do you still stay romantic, nurturing, making sure the kids are in place? Because you can't say, go ask your mom now. Well, to a certain, she can still talk, but I mean, to physically go and move and take over. How do you manage that?
Yeah, well, for us, it helps that our children are older, right? So I don't know what I would do. I'd probably be nuts. I'd be down in South Florida asking for y'all help. If we had babies, no, seriously, if we had babies, I would need, you know, some kind of grandmama or somebody to come help me out. You know,
but we quarantined. You can't get nobody.
I don't know now. I don't know. We're gonna have to break the stay-at-home order. I couldn't do it if we had little babies. But so I am blessed to have a 21 and a 20-year-old, right?
Wow.
21 and 19. So they can fend for themselves.
Yeah.
They can cook for themselves. They can wash their own laundry. You know, they help out where they can. When I feel like it's too burdensome for me, they can take Marcy. Hey, take your mom's dinner upstairs. Yeah. So I've got some help with young adult children.
That's good. That's good.
The second thing that has helped me, man, and this is real talk, I ain't just trying to say this to get no brownie points with my wife, is really true. It's like, you know, when you know how important somebody is to you, you got that's your Jordan on the team. You know, if Jordan get hurt, everybody gonna make sure Jordan or Kobe or whoever your player is. So because I know how important Marcy is to me, you know, I want to make sure we ain't breaking nothing else. You gonna recuperate all the way well.
I'm on, sir.
You got to come back on because you got to, so seriously, man. I think about how much she means to this family, to me, how much I need her back in her rhythm, and that forces me when I am tired or God, I don't feel like that. It forces me to say, "Hey, man, that's your MVP. Take care of her. She's been doing it for you anyway for 20-something years. So go ahead and take some time and put it into her, because guess what, Ryan? It's only going to come back to me,
sir.
You know, when she's back 100%, she's going to be how she was, and probably even more so loving, because she'll see where I tried to do my best for her. So those are the things that kind of keep me going. I got good help with kids, and then I remember I got the MVP that I got to take care of.
Yeah, I think the doctor said I got to be here for a couple of months.
The devil is alive. The devil is alive. I'm blind that demon.
Listen, it's been so lovely just having my feet propped up and not having to do stuff.
Enjoy it. Listen, I broke my toe. I had a fracture dislocation about 2 years ago, and the doctor said to me, you know, he said, "Do you want a plaster? Would you like me to plaster it?" I said, "Yeah, I want you to plaster
like
it."
A cast,
you know,
a cast over
to put on it, because I want it to look worse than it kind of is. Really want to support it as much as possible. He said, "Yeah, that's fine." And he said, I said, "Do you have any advice I should give my husband?" He said, "Yeah, I think you should keep your feet up. I think that you need to take as much pressure off your leg and off your foot and off your toe, and I need you to rest." Listen, I milked it. I'm not even going to lie to you. I openly said it to Ryan. I said, "Listen, I'm just letting you know I'm going to milk this process because I don't know if it's ever going to happen again. And I pray it doesn't happen again, but I'm going to enjoy it." So I just sat there up for days. Babe, I'm hungry.
already there, honey. So you can just
I'm hungry. And I was he said he was going to get me a little bell because that's the only thing that was missing, because I was going to milk process as much as possible.
Yes, and that's me. Yeah, we on the same page, Jamie. That's me. I'm like, let's, and like, he gets, no, I can tell when he's getting irritated. I was like, "Are you getting irritated?"
No, really? Tone.
Listen, exactly. Listen, one day we ran him so raggedy, he came upstairs. He put his little CPAP machine on, got in the bed, and he did not speak to us the rest of the evening.
It was like 8 o'clock. It was like 8 o'clock. I was fully in the bed. Like, don't bother me for the rest.
He was so irritated.
Oh my God. I can see that. I can definitely see.
Ryan, I was done, bro. I went upstairs like 8:30, like, "Hey, I am asleep. Don't bother me." I pulled the covers over my head, like, I hope she don't want to have no fun tonight. It's over. It's over.
I started messing with him. So I get in the bed, you know, I'm rubbing his leg, like, "Baby, you don't want."
No, I don't want nothing more, baby. No.
This is a different type of night. This is a different.
I'm good. Look, hey Jamie, I got a headache tonight. I got a headache. Not tonight, baby. I got a headache.
Oh, I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, he is terrible. The bless his heart, but he's doing a good job. But I do think I'm going to be here for a couple of months.
Well done.
For something, I don't know.
It's crazy, you know. I think to be a husband, and I'm sure speaking, you know, to looking on my wife and Fred, just you looking at your wife, it's not easy roles. They're not easy roles, but I think they're rewarding roles, because there is not one day that I don't go through that I don't find something new about my wife. And we've done almost 17 years, and we're finding something new about each other. And what I found out, that as we continue throughout marriage, I've noticed that I am using a lot more of my words now instead of raising my voice, because, you know, as a man, you are taught, you know, you need to put your stamp on it.
Add some more
bass.
Know,
you need to add a bit more. You need to drop the bass, so the woman can understand who you are. You know what I mean? And then don't let your parents see you having the conversation with them. They'll tell you, "Boy, you're too soft."
Yeah. Handle that. Go in there and handle your business.
Go and handle your business. But if you try to handle your business like that in the 21st century, you getting a divorce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a different day, man.
This is a different day. It is about lifting my wife up. It is about lifting her up in such a way with my words, because what I've realized, you can spend 3 years building your partner up and tear them down in 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
sir. Can you share a little bit about that? What you think about that in terms of the power of words and building each other up as a couple?
Absolutely. You know, so if you don't know your spouse's love language, I encourage you to do that. You know, Gary Chapman, that amazing book, 5 Love Languages. You can go to 5 Love Languages.
Amazing book.
Take the quiz and figure out what your love language is. And I brought that up because when we discovered what each other's love language was, it allowed us to talk to each other differently. Yeah. For instance, Fred's love language is words of affirmation. And I could, like you said,
brother, yes.
But here's the thing. I can give him tons of affirmations and lift him up, but one bad word from me, crush everything. And so when I learned the magnitude of being able to speak his love language, it made me move differently. It made me talk differently. It made me more cautious with my words, because I couldn't just be as split with my mouth, as I had been in the past, because one word or one sentence could demolish all the things that I've tried to deposit in him. And so when I understood what his love language was, it helped me to recondition my mind to say, hey, this is my partner. I want him to be at his best at all times. So all I got to do is speak the right language. If I got to just speak affirmations and things of that nature, then I'm willing to do that, because I'm willing to invest in my marriage. So that's one thing that you can do to invest, to make sure that you're speaking the right words. Yeah, is to basically know your spouse's love language, because if you don't, it can be detrimental.
Wow,
that's good.
That's awesome. Good. Yeah.
I think that's good.
Go ahead, brother.
No. I was listening to you. It was a delay.
Oh no, I was going to add to that. We're very transparent. We're real guys. We're friends. That's why you get when you go Marcy and Fred. So I just want to say that, because another place where I have to be better with my words. Sometimes it's not just to your spouse, but it's how you're talking to other people around. So something that I was doing, man, and it's the pastor in me. I'm a friendly guy. I wasn't trying to disrespect Marcy. I wasn't trying to get no girlfriends in the church. But just by nature, I saw my dears. Hey, dear, how you doing? Hey, sweetheart. Hey, sister so-and-so. And I'm hugging and kissing the sister at church. And then Marcy just pulled my coattail like, you called her dear, right? I'm like,
you said sweetheart.
You
said baby.
And I'm like, but I didn't mean it like the way I call you dear.
Right.
But you can't differentiate that.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's just a small thing. If any other man out there has that, again, it wasn't flirtation at all. It wasn't any of that. It was just my, pastoral charisma. Hey, dear. Hey, sweetie. How you? And you got to find those words that are reserved just for your wife.
Hey,
right?
Hey.
What's Marcy's word? What's Marcy's title? Or what's Marcy? And nobody gets that. Nobody else is called the lady. She's Lady Marcy Wilson. No, so once you find that out, and that's just a man lesson that I'm giving to the husbands out there, that humbled me. I didn't see anything wrong with it. At first I thought she was tripping. I honestly did, but I thought about it like, okay, you gotta see how she's perceiving this. You're using a word that you call your wife, and you calling the average sister at the church how does that make her feel special? Wow. And so again, when we're talking about raising words, I think it's not only what we say to one another, but what we say around them.
That's good.
People about them.
Absolutely.
That's solid in what you're saying.
That is so powerful with what you just said, because one of the things that we noticed we've learned in ministry is that also, even like Ryan's very much like that as well. Ryan's very friendly, but not flirtatious friendly. So to me, it was nothing. I didn't have a problem with it. But one of the points I kind of raised to Ryan was, well, right, it's not just about what you think, but it's how the other person perceives it.
Yeah.
And, you don't know where that lady may be in her life, or how impressionable she may be, or how she may take fact that you called her hun, or, oh, you look beautiful today, or, certain comments, it can just take it further or past it. I remember a time somebody said something, I think Ryan said a very, very innocent statement, and I think the person took it as though Ryan was flirting with the person, and
so I've learned to be very careful.
You have to cover each other. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because if not, they'll be in your DM talking about, Pastor, you just so amazing. Why you love it?
They want extra laying on the pants, and
we need no issues.
We need no issues at all.
But that was a powerful statement when you said, Jamie, cover each other. I like that.
I think that's so important, because other people don't know your spouse as well as you know your spouse. So you know their intentions, you know their heart, you know what's behind the words that they use. So just just as some advice to other people, how do you guys cover each other? I know you guys like to text each other. I know you guys have your conversations and so forth, but how else do you guys cover each other when you're home? Or, for example, you both, I think we're each other's cheerleaders. So, for example, when your husband preaches or your wife preaches, how do you give positive feedback after that event? Because we've grown a lot since, we first started ministry.
Yeah.
I'll ask a few questions, so answer anyone you want.
Okay, so yeah, we definitely are each other's cheerleader. So Fred's running joke for me is like, Marcy didn't have like 17 million jobs, So whatever I say,
every job out there, my wife is a professional.
but whatever I say I want to do, he's always like, you should do it, baby. You should go for it. You should really do that, and so he's always encouraging me to go further, go for it, do it, investing in it as well. So if it would be attached to me taking a test or something like that, he was always the one to invest. Fred has shown up to women-only events because I was a speaker, or I was featuring my book. I remember I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta, and so he showed up at a sorority event. He was the only man in there, and I gave him a couple of cool points because all the women, oh my God, you're just like the best husband ever. So I enjoyed that part of it. But
hey, so for the record, I can't take all the credit because I don't think I knew that I was going to be the only guy there. I walked in like, I'm the only boy here.
Where the boys at?
Oh my gosh.
We got to be there for
we
each other.
do. And so like if I remember one weekend, it was a weekend where we were both like book solid, and we were, finishing up in one place, and I was running to where he was, and then he was running to where I was. And so, just being there and being each other's cheerleader is very, very important. And this is the thing that I set straight day one. Nobody can come to me and tell me, let me tell you what your husband did. You're not going to talk to me like that. Because when people get mad, or especially when we're in the church setting, and I will stop and hold on. This you might want to rephrase that if you're going to come and tell me something, because it's not going to go in your favor. Whether I agree with them or not, you will never know that, because I'll go home and I'll say, hey, you probably could have been a little softer with what you said. You will never say that in front of anybody else. Absolutely. And nobody can ever come to me and say, let me tell you what your husband said. Let me tell you what, No, you're not going to do that. And because you're going to respect him in my presence. And if you can't respect him in my presence, we're not even going to have a conversation.
Wow.
And I think it goes both ways. Again, covering. Jamie, you mentioned a lot there. Covering is a piece of it. There are people, men or women. Like you just said about me. We have to say the same. No, you can't talk about my wife. You can't ask me no questions about that. I mean, what happens between Fred and Marcy, and people will try that, especially when you're a pastor or a leader. They'll think they can, like children. They think they can get to one parent against the other. Yeah. We experienced that a lot in church ministry. I'm sure you guys did as well. First Lady said this, and we cover each other. We're one. We're one, and we're so one that even if we don't know what the other one said,
they're hot.
Come on,
you just gotta move your head or move your eyes.
Yeah. And then on the phone be text like, did you
say that? What did you say before about this? Right? Let me know what's up, right?
Yeah.
But and so we've covered each other there. Back to the encouraging piece. I'm a firm believer. This is some real man talk. This is grown man talk right here. But if you in your place, can't no other man be there. Hello, somebody.
Well,
wife, if you're in your place, you ain't got to worry about no other woman being in there, because you got that thing covered. So whatever it is, encouragement, small thing. Marcy came in my office after church. I know we all got armor bearers and nurses and all that, but Marcy was in my office after church every Sunday, even after she had her meetings, whatever. But don't worry, my wife gonna pray for me and lay hands on me.
Don't worry about it.
My wife gonna help me change my clothes. Yeah, she got that.
I got all of this.
Yeah, don't worry about it, And so I think, because again, if anybody can sense, oh, she ain't there, Pastor, I help you, unloosen your tie. No, baby, I got somebody that's gonna handle that for me. And so again, I think that goes into everything Jamie was saying, covering, being there,
and then having those boundaries. Knowing those boundaries and not allowing people to infiltrate those boundaries that you have set up. And so, and that's another way of covering each other. Like, hey, within these perimeters, you're not going to infiltrate this, and then we have enough stuff built up around us. We're fortified that nothing else can get in, and only what we want to come out will come out. So, even though we may have our disagreements, nobody outside will never know that. I remember one time our kids, they said, like, Mom, we've never seen you and Daddy fight. That's a good thing. Now, have we had fights? Yeah. Absolutely.
but they didn't know.
They didn't know. They was like, and they were wrong when they said this. We've never seen you guys even mad at each other or having a fight. And that was something that we really wanted to put before them, so that they can have a healthy understanding of marriage and how men and women should operate with one another.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I think what you just said was incredible. As you were speaking, one of the things I was thinking about is perception. How important perception is, because even with my wife, there's some things I would say and I would think back in the days, just get over it. This is it should just be, you're a big girl. But then I realized sometimes it's not necessarily what I think of the situation. It's about how the person perceives it. And although we may have a truth, I realize that being in a marriage, sometimes you may try to be right all the time, but sometimes being right all the time can get you a divorce, because you really win even when you were right, when her feelings were hurt and she was crippled in the process. When you guys were speaking, I'm just hearing perception. You guys, and even your children, perceiving you all to be the individual. I thought that was incredible. Awesome, but before we leave, I want you to just speak for about a minute, really, and just really encourage the people that are listening right now, who are in marriage, who are in relationships, and trying to get to the status and the place of where you actually are to grow. And we know every married couple has a different formula, but just speak to them just for a moment.
Well, it's a process. I'm learning how to get my accent together. It's a process. Like 5 people have said, "We love your accent, Miss Jamie." And Jamie said, "Y'all the one with the accent." That's hilarious. But no, I'll Marcia, I'll go, and then you can just share our advice to any couple, young, just starting out, in it for a while. Again, we're not professionals by any means. We're just 22 years in it by the Lord's grace. We've had several challenges, and again, those challenges have made us who we are. I would say number one, as we all know, not trying to be super spiritual, is a deal, man. There are 3 people who sang a song years ago. I didn't it then. I remember from my dad singing at a wedding, Ryan, and he sang the song. I think Larnell Harris made it. Anyway, the song says, "It takes more than 2, me, the Lord, and you." Wow. It takes more than 2.
Wow.
Me, the Lord, and you. My dad sang that lyric. I was like 13, 14, but I didn't know what it meant until I was in my 5th or 6th year. I'm like, wow, okay, there's something else, because we're bumping heads. Fred and Marcy cannot do this by themselves, right? And so again, that relationship with the Lord, for those of us who are saved, it can grow tighter every day. Every day. I'm up at 5:30, 6 in the morning. I'm talking to the Lord about Marcy, about me, about how to be a better husband. When she's up at 12, 1, 2 o'clock at night, sometimes I feel her. She's laying hands on me. She's praying. Even the crazy places in me. Marcy told me once, and this was in one of our roughest, lowest moments, Jamie. Marcy told me once, she says, and this blessed my life. Get this. She says, "Even when I can't trust you, I trust the God in you." That blessed me, man. I'm like, wow. So even if as a man she has some personal issues, Fred, you need to get yourself together. She sees a light in you. There's the God. And so there's a third person that has kept our marriage together. That's real talk.
That's real talk.
That's real talk. It's not because Fred's such a good man, a good husband, or Marcy's just an awesome wife. That third person has pulled us together when the two of us were too crazy to even know any difference. So we would highly encourage anybody out there, pastor, new member, 20-year-old, whoever you are in your marriage, tighten up your personal relationship with the Lord, because you got to pray for your spouse.
Yes.
Then tighten up y'all relationship together. Pray together once a week, 7 days a week. I mean, for real, get on y'all knees and pray together.
Yes.
Because when I hear Marcy talk to God about me, it lets me know what's really on her mind.
Yeah.
Right? It lets me know what I got to work on when she starts saying, okay, Lord, and Lord, bless Fred's, the way he talks or his words. Then it's let me know, wow, maybe I'm a little off with my words. And so that's what serious. I'm not trying to be over spiritual. That's just real.
That's real talk.
I'm just saying that is what has kept us. We have no other magic trick besides strengthening that relationship with the Lord, and then some other practical things that we
be willing to grow. We are not the same people we were just last year. Last year we were in a whole different place than we are even now. So be willing to grow.
Yeah, that's good.
Grow individually and then grow together. I'm always asking Fred, how can I pray for you? What is it that you're believing God for? I never want to be that person in your life that if you're believing God for something and I'm that person saying you can't do that. No, let me know so that I can get the same level of faith that you have, and whatever you believe in God, you can give us directly. So be willing to grow. Be willing to grow individually and grow together, and then give your spouse that space to grow. It was at one point in our life that I felt like Fred wasn't where I wanted him to be, but I had to give him that space to grow. So if I am diligent about praying for him and giving him over to the Lord, God got to do the growing. That's not even my job to do. God's job. I was trying to do his like, okay, I'm gonna need you to clean that up.
Hurry up, Lord. Come on, Lord. Get him right, Jesus.
But I was trying to do God's job, and so give him that space and that room to be the man of God that God called him to be. And so be willing to grow with one and have fun. Have some fun.
Absolutely.
Enjoy. We have so much fun together. We were just having a conversation yesterday. I was like, if people don't get us, because we can quote out movies and then we just all start buzzing up laughing and everybody looking like, what are they laughing at? But
we know every line to every black movie ever. Okay. All right. So
but have fun together. And most importantly, do not forsake your time of intimacy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Have plenty of sex. It's the gift of marriage.
Hey, I felt the anointing right there.
Did you hear that? I heard it too. Is that a prescription?
The married man is undefiled. Listen, the level of intimacy.
And we teach. I'm sorry to cut you off, baby, but while we're joking about that, and the sex is, go ahead and get you some tonight if you need to do that. But we teach also, guys, and you guys know this after 17 years. The intimacy is way more than the act, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just it's literally those Netflix and chill nights. Marcy does a thing. This man, I don't know why you got your beard, bro, but this is Marcy's plaything right here. I want to cut. I got gray hair and everything growing.
I might need to send you some beard oil because I do beard oil, so I might got to send you it.
Come on, man, help me out, man. So this is like, that's just intimate. See that? Look at it.
The thing is, he doesn't trust me with his beard because he's got like 2 gray hairs.
No.
He thinks I'm trying to attack it every time I'm touching his beard. So he won't even let me touch his beard.
I'm trying for it not to multiply.
Like, don't touch my beard.
I don't want. She looked like she's going after the gray hair. I don't want it to multiply.
Man, listen,
it's coming.
It's coming, brother. It's coming. It's all good.
But don't forsake your time of intimacy with one another. Love on one another, and hey, just be there and have fun together.
Yep.
And you touched on the sex point, and that's a really, really good point. But one of the things as well, just I wanted to, if you could expand on a little bit, is just even about the it's not just the physical touch, but it's the emotional touch as well.
Wow.
And that's just as important as the physical, because I think sometimes we can neglect that, where there can be deficits within our marriage where the emotional needs of our spouse is not met. Because for me as a woman, if I'm being very honest with you, it's not just about, okay, you touch me when you want something, but it's about actually make love to my mind throughout the day. Tell me how beautiful I am. Tell me how happy, and I'm happy. And, you know, it's about understanding, you know, the emotional side. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like yeah, like warm me up, gas me up. Don't just come in like that.
This ain't a microwave. This ain't a microwave.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another way that texting can come into play. You know, like definitely when we were working and we were outside of the home, you know, we would start early in the morning, like, man, I can't wait to see you tonight. And, like, emojis will bless you on that one as well. So using, you know, your words to uplift and you know, and then you're hyping each other up throughout the day, so that when you do see each other, it's like, wow, I couldn't wait to get home to see you. You know, you running in and snatching up stuff because you're excited because you've been having that dialogue all day long. So I'm with you. Yeah.
And let me take that even further and a little bit deeper for the brothers out there who are watching. And I appreciate what our wives are saying. We love that, you know, have those conversations throughout the day, build up, have those sexual flirtatious moments. But I have learned, and I suppose it's for everyone, I only know this woman here, but it may be for every woman, Ryan and Jamie, women just like to talk. I mean, about anything. It ain't just about the sex. I mean, so sometimes I literally see, and I'm just engaging her, and I see Marcy, and her eyes are lighting up, and we can be talking about her day or work or 7th grade kids, and I'm like, wow, this is actually turning her on. I mean, she is like, da 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 da.
Yes.
Sometimes women need that, you know, back to raising our words, brothers. My mentor, Reverend James Meeks, taught me this, Ryan, that men have 7,000 words a day.
Yep.
Women have 20,000 words a day, right? So by the time we get home, we done used all our words up. They still want to go.
I got about 15,000 more. So
I'm like, oh my God. And so, but seriously, man, I have learned, and then back to that sexual conversation. Sometimes I've learned, because we were talking so much and she felt like I was so into her and we were communicating so great, then that intimacy time was so much easier because, again, we were already on one accord and communicating.
Yeah.
No, wow. I think this was incredible. It was so great to have you guys on tonight.
It was our honor, man.
We had Chicago and Florida meeting up.
Yeah.
You know?
What's over there?
It's hot. Yeah, we're bubbling
last
up
couple
for our
days.
Summer. Yeah, we're getting ready for summer. So
It's
it's like what,
summertime.
the 80s. I haven't been outside because I can't really go outside.
Yeah, it's been 80s the last few days. It got a little overcast today. It's about 65, 70, but I think we've broken through the cold, man, and we're ready for our summer. So all is well in Chicago. I see the sun has gone down where you guys are. It's beautiful behind you.
Yeah.
Hot.
We feeling the heat though.
Yeah,
Real Florida,
nice.
real Florida heat is up in here.
I'm not even gonna pretend. It's a little different from you, huh, Jamie? Because London's weather was a little
rainy, wasn't it?
Yeah, muggy. But do you know what? They've had lovely weather in the UK at the moment. Everybody, if you're there in the UK, guys, hit us up to say hi. But yes.
What's up, UK?
We
do.
It's hot. It's lovely. Everyone's enjoying the weather. It's nice. It's making the quarantine a bit more bearable because we do have, they're having nice weather over there. But Florida and the mosquitoes, they're not my friend. I feel like they had a conference. Prior to me coming in, they said, listen,
they were dancing
Jamie's
with us.
coming.
There's fresh meat on the line.
Fresh meat, fish and chip blood, and let's go. And honestly, I feel as though they have attacked my life. I feel like I'm manic with the spray. I've got a spray can at the side of my bed, ready. If I hear a mosquito, I've got a UV light surrounded my bed because
I love it.
Ryan.
It's serious.
We spent so much money on just things to repel mosquito. Now they're not touching me. They said this boy is home. His flesh is stale. You know what I mean? I've broken the flesh. I'm in the spirit.
He's really in quarantine, so the mosquitoes are not enjoying his skin right now.
Wow.
That is too funny.
That's hilarious.
That is too funny.
I mean, it's good. Hey, Pastor Fred, just pray us out so we can just get out of here, man.
Thank you guys for having us.
We're so honored to be on with you guys. Blessings to all of your followers for Marriage Chronicles, man. And we'll talk after this is over because we got to connect y'all once this is all over.
Really, I can't wait to get out and hang out with you guys. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. Hey, how early do y'all get up in the morning?
6 o'clock.
Between 6 and 7:30.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's good. So when I'm on my morning glory at 6:30, it's 7:30. Y'all are wide awake, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're an hour behind us, aren't you?
Yeah, we're so right now we're at 7:10. You're at 8:10, right? Yeah. You guys are an hour ahead down over there in the East Coast.
My God.
Yeah. So I just said that we'll talk offline, man. But I do a morning glory prayer stream. I'll share the link with you guys. I would love for you guys.
Please, and so we can let our followers know. Well, they listening now, so
praise God.
There.
The Morning Glory Prayer Warriors is the name of the group. It is a Facebook group. It's an open group. But if you join it, I do a live stream every morning, teach the word. This morning, my two sisters, Miss Anita Wilson, who's a gospel singer, my older sister, Fashawn, who lives in Atlanta, we did a Zoom together and sang and worshiped. I was playing the keyboard. So every morning at 6:30, we help people get their day started in the word and in worship. And I would love for the two of you guys to come on and Ryan preach and Jamie sing, and we just have some church.
And have the baby play some songs.
That's right. Come on. That would be hot, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we'll talk about the details.
Definitely.
That's
morning glory. Let's pray, guys. Please give me the pleasure to pray for this wonderful couple. God, we love you and we thank you, God, for being the sovereign, in control, God, that you are. You direct every minute step of our life, God, even the small things. You were in charge when me and Marcy stepped onto that bus. We weren't even going to go to that movie that night down in Dallas.
Wow.
But you get on that bus, talk to that young couple seated in front of us. And God, here we are some 5-7 years later, still in fellowship with Ryan and Jamie Johnson. They have changed our lives and we love them so much. We ask your blessings upon Ryan and Jamie right now. We thank you, God, for their move and their transition from Birmingham, God, to Florida, just the safety within that travel and all that had to come along with the church and the maneuvering, God. We know that you were in it and we give you the glory and the praise for it. Bless now, God, the Awakened family, Awakened South Florida, Awakened Birmingham. Bless, God, a young Jeremiah, I believe it is, God. I pray that you bless. Thank you for his gifts, God. Thank you for his anointing. Thank you, God, for I've seen him grow, God. I'm just so proud of my nephew. And we pray, God, that you would bless them. I know it's a simple, silly prayer, God, but you're in charge of everything. Would you control the mosquitoes? Would you even bless my sister, Jamie, as give her comfort, God, as she makes this transition, God, let it not be unbearable for her. I pray, God, that you would put your shield of protection around her in every way. We speak your blessings up over their life, their family, their finances. Bless them from the bedroom to the bank account, God, in every area of their life. And then, God, not only for us, you've kept us as couples and as pastors, me and Marcy and Ryan and Jamie, but God, we're covering and leading people. Somebody's watching us tonight.
Yes, God.
And they need you, oh God. They need you in that marriage. Somebody is struggling, some husband, some wife. We don't know what the issues are, but God, you do. And so we ask you to bless every home represented in the name of Jesus. Those that are watching us live, those that will, the hundreds, the thousands that will view this in weeks and months to come. We pray, God, that you would bless and raise up godly marriages. People that serve you, oh God, so that we can raise godly children. And that children might begin to see men loving women the way they should be loved and wives submitting to their husbands the way they should be submitted to. We thank you, God, in advance for this season. Now, Lord, my final prayer is for this United States of America.
Mm.
There's so much injustice going on
God, yes, God.
all over this country, God. There's so much, even now in Minnesota, God, there are riots and there's a rebellion, and people are hurt, people are mad, God. And so we need you to protect innocent people. We need you, oh God, to rain down your justice in this land. Correct what we cannot correct, oh God. Bless the family of George Floyd and all those who have lost people, God, in some horrible circumstances. And we just thank you. We're not happy about George Floyd, but God, I just thank you that our sons are safe. I just thank you, God, that our families have been kept. And we declare every home is covered by the blood of Jesus. Hallelujah. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Hallelujah and amen.
Amen.
Glory to God.
Amen.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you guys.
It's so crazy. Do you know, when we think about how we met, and you said it in our prayer, I think it's just so awesome, honestly. Really, really.
We were not going that night. We were like,
let's just go. We had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And look at
this.
We love you guys.
That's God. Look here, guys. We love you. We look forward to speaking to you guys, man. And we know we'll be speaking. We back in the sticks. So it feels good to be back. Look here. Thank you to all of you all who came on tonight, who stayed, who heard. And we are just praying and we're believing as we share our stories in regards to marriage, that your marriage would grow. We're not coming on here as we are perfect, but we're coming on here with a little bit of experience that we continue to gain through our growth to share with you, that it can become easier for you in this 21st century. God bless you. Look forward to speaking to you all soon.
Amen. Bye-bye, guys.